You guys open at home against Santa Teresa. And, I'd talked to you just on and off as we've seen each other over the last couple of weeks, and you guys are pumped about this year. You feel like you've got a good group of girls.
Yeah, definitely. I think all the effort the girls have put in and all the things that they've been doing in the off seasons and the summer are starting to pay dividends. I think the building up of the program from the bottom up, we're starting to see those, the fruits of your labor, I guess, and so I'm pretty excited because we've got a lot of players. We've got a lot of players back. We're just going to have to play well.
Coach, what are you guys seeing, at least in terms of practices over the last week or so, that really gets you guys excited about this group of girls?
The biggest thing we push with our girls is always attitude and effort, and our attitude and effort's been 150% every day in practice. They give us everything they got, and we're just trying to put in things to get the best out of them. But we can't ask anything more out of our girls. They're giving us everything.
That's good. And
I can't ask for it a lot more, but that's kind of because I'm unreasonable. But
you're still going to ask for more. We know Coach Sanchez will do that.
Coach is right, though. They give us everything. They definitely put forth every last ounce of effort, and you can't ask from anything more in that attitude and effort department.
What do you feel like this group maybe learned last year? 8-19. It wasn't certainly wasn't the season that you guys wanted last year, but you were exceptionally young. What do you feel like those sophomores and juniors really learned, and freshmen that played at times last year for you?
You know what I think a lot of people didn't realize? We lost 7 games by less than 10 points. I think under 7. You're in games. We just didn't know how to win, and that doesn't happen unless you win. That's a trap 22 right there. You got you have to have some things happen. I think the biggest thing was experience. We had our experience was in sophomores. Kristen Archuleta, Brianna Jacob, Brooke Anderson. There were sophomores, and those were our leaders. Monique Hernandez was a junior last year. She's a senior this year. She was our most experienced leader. So having all that experience now in juniors and seniors, where it should be maturity-wise and the game experience now that they all have, that's a big difference. And I think that's going to be the single biggest difference for us this year is that, very little that they're going to say, ooh, this is a new situation. We've been in close games. We won some close games. We still got a long ways to go in terms of learning how to put teams away and stuff, but I think that's that next step that we're looking to take.
Did you feel like the team progressed last year from what you saw at the beginning of the season to the end of the season? Because I'm sure that's what you guys are looking for when the season begins, that those sophomores have made big strides. Did you kind of see that as the year went on?
Yeah, we definitely seen a big stride, and we're trying to focus on playing harder games all the time. We feel we struggle sometimes in those tough games because we're not playing them enough, and the harder we had a great off season playing nothing but the best competition, and now this year our girls going to see. It comes at a hard game. We've been there. We've done that, and it's just another game, So it's going to be a great season.
Yeah. Coach, you guys scrimmaged over the weekend. What did you see that you liked? What did you see that you obviously still need to work on? I'm sure that as a coach you're always seeing things that you guys need to work on.
There's always something to get better at. There's always something to improve. After this weekend, I thought, we brought in Hobbs and Mayfield and Oñate, and I thought we did an exceptional job against Hobbs and Mayfield in terms of handling their pressure. And when you get into the top tier teams, I always say the top 5 or 6 teams in the state, they have very similar MOs. The teams are going to apply pressure, they're going to have some type of press, and they're going to be disciplined. Can you handle that? And we played Mayfield real tough. We lost by 7 in the scrimmage setting. I wasn't very disappointed. I think Mayfield jumped on us pretty quick, and we just maintained after that, and it kept at that lead. We were never out of the game. But we never got to that next step of getting it down to 2 points or less. But our effort was great. Hobbs, same thing. We fell down by 14 and lost by 2. To tell us that we can play with anyone. But we need to learn how to handle ourselves against teams like Oñate. And that was the biggest area of improvement. They're a little different. They came out and they zoned and trapped a little bit, a different style than what we had seen from the other 2 teams. So I thought we didn't adjust very well. I don't think I adjusted very well. So I think the one area we wanted to improve on before our first game is handling that kind of difference. We're ready for this pressure. We're ready for that high intensity, and then we play a team that's not as intense, not high pressure, and we kind of relaxed. And so that's that learning how to win kind of deal. We got to learn that.
To have where you guys are controlling the tempo and you guys are dictating the way that the game is going.
Yeah, Mayfield and Hobbs both beat Oñate by 33. I mean, and then we play Mayfield and Hobbs tough, and then all of a sudden we almost lay an egg against Oñate. That's not acceptable.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking with Alamogordo Girls basketball coach Fernie Sanchez and assistant James Jacob. Their season begins next Tuesday in the Tiger Pit. They face off against the Santa Teresa Lady Desert Warriors. Let's talk about this group of girls. And you mentioned you got a ton coming back this year in terms of, I don't know if you've got your starting five set, but I can certainly guess, Monique Hernandez, Kristen Archuleta, Brianna Jacob, and you could probably pick a few others out of there that are going to be a part of that rotation, the starting five.
As of right now, we've got those three in the starting lineup. Brooke Anderson and Brindy Locke, transfer from Wyoming, just tough as nails. That's our starting lineup right now. But to say that's where it's going to stay, Adriana Chenault is kind of in an in and out situation right now in that starting lineup. She does an outstanding job for us defensively, and she brings this effort to we would say that 150%. She's that kid that gets it there. She gets it there like the moment she steps on that floor. If you're not going to go 100%, she's going to make you pay for it. And you always have to have that kind of motor. And so she does a great job of doing that. She does a great job of increasing the intensity. But it's depth. AJ backing up at the point guard spot. Jeracia Smith and Chelsea Carroll backing us up in the inside the post area. There's a battle every day.
If you had to create a depth chart every day it would have been different. Every single day.
Yeah, every day. It's and that's probably one of the biggest differences from the past. That depth is it increases everything. Practice is tougher because you have to beat somebody out every day. That last year we were joking about this. Anytime we were moving a kid up or down, we were like, well, I need that kid. Coach Jacob said, well, I need that kid here too. And this year we had to make a little adjustment to the roster, and I told him, and he goes, I don't know if I got room.
It's a nice feeling to have.
Definitely.
And we're talking a kid that's going to play varsity minutes, and we want to make sure they get enough minutes. And hey, we might have to move this kid down. And Coach Jacob's like, I'm going walking back to the office, and he goes, you just remember those days when we were like we'd have begged for any kid out of the bleachers to stands just to come stand and practice. And all of a sudden now, we've got almost 40 kids, and man, it's a battle every day, and it's fun when it's a battle every day because you have a bad time, and someone else will come in and I think maybe that's also improved our attitude and our effort because the kids know, okay, I might be having a bad day, but if I work my butt off, I can get through it. And in the past, if you had a bad day, you just maybe kind of pushed it off a little, and no matter how hard we were pushing, we didn't have the depth to back it up.
Well, and I think, you guys obviously have a lot on varsity, but JV, you guys got a lot of talent that's playing on the JV level, I have to imagine, as well.
We have 14 girls on the JV, and probably all 4 could give solid minutes and just do good things for the team. And it's a fantastic problem.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic problem. We've never had this before, and I'm just looking forward to it.
And it's good to have. I would have to imagine. You want them to be a team, but I'm sure there's a level of competition inside the team because everybody wants to get out there and be playing, right?
I have about 8 or 9 girls that probably don't deserve to play for me. They probably deserve to go to Coach Sanchez here because they're that talented. And I get the luxury and of trying to keep their egos and keep them on the court. And just like you said, the most important for these girls, they're young, and keep them getting minutes. We don't want girls sitting on that bench at the varsity level that can give us 20 minutes down at the JV and help us with the varsity. So it's tough sometimes, keeping them up, not letting them get down, saying, hey, you're good, but at the same time we got to make sure you're getting better.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing. Just getting better, and I think we're a lot better. I think I definitely see us as a playoff team, and I've always told you I kind of real cautious on throwing those things out, but I think finally we've hit that point where we're going to sustain a program. My number one goal when I came and got this job was I wanted to build something that would sustain itself. Every year we have new players coming in. Not saying, oh gosh, I got to wait 5 more years for that next group. We wanted to build that up, and I think we're getting there, and we're finally seeing that. And I'm excited, man. I'm to be honest, you got to be careful too. can't throw that much pressure. But we want to be a playoff team, and we're going to have to handle pressure.
Talk about somebody like Mo. Mo's been playing since he was a freshman. What are you seeing from her in camp that gets you excited about her? Because we know that she has an incredible skill level and can be a leader out there in the court for you guys too.
Leadership, number one, leadership. She takes criticism well now, and she's made such huge improvements. I'm going to tell stories about this kid for the rest of my coaching career. I don't think I've ever coached anyone as hard as I've coached her, and the way she's responded, the way she's adjusted and gotten better. She can control the team. She knows how to talk to her teammates. You have zero issues with putting the ball in her hand. That's a huge thing, because a lot of times you always want a point guard that can take over a game, and Mo's that kind of kid. But she can do it with her passing as much as she can do it with her shooting. So her experience is huge. We had the second leading vote getter in district last year, behind a Division I player, and that was Kristen Archuleta. And we forget, Kristen's just a junior.
Well, I was going to mention the front court. You got Kristen, then you bring in Brendy as well. That's going to make a big difference for you.
Oh yeah, I mean we have so many more pieces to the puzzle, and it's just a development. When you're playing sophomores and freshmen last year, Shelby Carstens, AJ were sophomores last year. They're playing minutes. Well, it's a little different when they're sophomores. Same thing for sophomores playing. We got 3 sophomores starting, 4 sophomores starting last year. Now all of a sudden they're juniors. Physically and mentally they're better, and we're still relatively young.
Yeah, and you guys, you certainly Riata and a couple other girls were a big part of what you did last year. Lauren, of course, moving away was a loss for you, but the fact that you did lose some of those pieces and you guys continue to have as much as you have, and have this much confidence in this group. How about the girls? What is their confidence level like going into the season from what you guys are seeing?
They want to win.
Yeah.
And they feel like they can win. There's no fear. This summer we went out to different team camps. And in the past, we've always tried to get a couple games you can win. And this was fun for me to call and say, hey, just bring it on. Roswell, Hobbs, Clovis, Mayfield. We didn't want to play anybody that wasn't in that upper echelon. We wanted to play the best, and the girls did. And the girls competed. I think we had 1 double-digit loss this summer, and we had probably 4 or 5 big wins. Because we played teams that I felt like, hey, we should beat these teams. In the past, even though you felt that way, it wasn't happening. And this summer, man, it happened. Games were over in the first half. You just could see the difference, and that confidence that they brought back from those things was huge. But now we got to translate it into real games, because the summer's different. Everyone's missing someone. You're not doing certain things. So, but just the confidence they gain from that is huge, but they want to win, and they all know playoffs. Yeah. They know that's the goal.
What do you guys feel? What do you think like the strength of this team is going to be? Is the defense? Do you guys feel like you can score a lot? Where do you feel like the strength in this team lies at this point, or is there maybe just a balance between what you guys can do?
Our strengths definitely speed and defense. Speed and defense hopefully leads to a lot of offense. We put a lot of time in now to our half court setting, because speed and defense has been our best offense the past couple of years, and almost sometimes the only offense. So speed and defense, and then we hope to definitely get big improvements in the half-court set.
What are you guys seeing different maybe in the half-court? Because I know that last year that was sometimes getting into the right offense, getting girls put in the right position. Do they get their roles better? Do you feel like
the time you spend in the system, and development-wise, that's that difference. A freshman's only been in your system 1 year. Sophomores only been in it 2 years. Juniors have been in it 3 years. Seniors 4 years. And Kristen will be an exception to that. She'll be in her 4th year already as a junior. But when they all have that experience, everyone's going to the right spot. Talk about a girl like Riata. She didn't play the year before her senior year, so her coming back, it was like starting from scratch. They have the abilities of a senior, but the knowledge of a freshman in terms of where to go. So right now, just knowing now, we call things and the kids go where they're supposed to go. They know what we're looking for. They know how to adjust to defenses. That's the thing. They can make the adjustments. They know what to do. So that's the level of excitement right now.
Does it mean we'll hear less from Coach Sanchez from the sideline?
Oh, you'll hear twice as much.
Twice as much.
Higher expectations.
And Coach Jacob going, calm down, Coach. It's okay. It's okay. You guys trade one district for a district that's just as tough this year. You go from Mayfield to Clovis. You go from Las Cruces High to Hobbs, and Carlsbad's probably a little bit tougher than what you get from Oñate and Gadsden on a regular basis. So there's not, I would say, not that there was an easy game in District 3 5A, but there certainly is not an easy game in District 4 6A, is there?
None. Yeah. Not one. And I'll tell you, this summer to watch, I do believe I saw Mayfield beat Hobbs once. But I want to say that district, the old district, Cruces district, was like 1-19 against our new district.
Yeah.
So our new district beat everybody. And they're good. I mean, I think potentially you got 4 teams in the top 10 in one district. And, I include us in that conversation. And, they're tough, man. And Carlsbad is huge. Clovis, of course. I mean, they had 4 girls sign early. You're talking about 4 girls, 3 Division I players on one team,
and probably the best player in the state, and Danny Williams.
Oh, by far.
Yeah,
I don't think there's even a question watching her and play and stuff. But but again, she's a kid. Well, they're all kids. They're gonna make mistakes. So we've got to learn how to do the things that best suit our fields. And we respect her and think she's a great player. But we're not afraid of anyone. That's a
Yeah.
big difference. There's not. Yeah, our girls want to play those games now. We had a 2-point loss to Clovis this summer. We had I think a 4-point loss to Clovis this summer. There's no fear anymore. It's not like big eyes coming in. Oh my gosh, here comes Clovis, and that's gonna be huge for us.
Yeah. And I think maybe the shine's a little bit off Clovis losing in the state tournament last year. I mean, they're not as, I think if they had gone back to back, maybe we'd look at them a little bit differently. Not saying that they're not still talented, but maybe the fear factor for everybody else isn't there, right?
Yeah, because they're beatable. And that makes a big difference. But well,
because some of the scores they were putting up in the last 2 years were unbelievable. What they were doing to some teams. So, I mean, it was impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to us a couple of times in that little thing for us. So yeah, I know.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go there, but yeah, it was definitely a tough team. So we'll certainly see them twice this year, and same goes for Hobbs and Carlsbad. VFW tournament. You feel good about the crop of teams coming in?
Yeah. We've got us and Gadsden, Manzano, 6A schools. We've got Chaparral coming in. We've got Los Lunas and Valencia.
Yep.
Both Final Four teams in 5A last year.
And they played very well here last
year. They played in the championship. Both of them did.
Yeah.
That was the teams. And then number 1 Burgess out of El Paso. They're preseason number 1, and preseason number 3 El Dorado out of El Paso as well. So this is going to be a tournament. We're going to have to play well, and I'm looking forward to it. But like Coach said, we talked about that, increasing the competition. You want to play the best. Our schedule's set up real well. Beginning in January, we play all 6A schools, and I'm excited, man. I can't tell you how excited I am.
Expectations, you feel like this is a playoff team?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to play.
Yeah.
We can't show up tomorrow and say we're a playoff team and that's it. We're going to have to show up. We're going to have to play. We're going to have to bust our butts. We're going to have to, our attitude's going to have to stay high. Our effort's going to have to be even better. And, we got to be disciplined, too, in what we're doing.